actually thank Dr. N.E. Basil, who is from UK. He will share his view and keynotes with us along with such type of activity. We welcome him and today International Conference of Education 2023. Sir, we welcome you from Pakistan University of Education, University of Peshawar Institute of Education and Research.
Thank you, Amir. Can I have a thumbs up if my sound and video and screen share is okay? Fantastic. That's great. Well, thank you so much. Welcome, everyone. I'm going to have this camera shot of me talking just for a moment, and then we're going to switch over so that you can see my expert panel of speakers as well in our UK group. CMOB can turn. Oh, I see. That's the other video camera. Okay, that's fine. All right. I feel like I'm in a boat with that other camera, but never mind. Let's get started then for my presentation and an interactive session where we're asking the question, can we have a telepistemology? Hello, circle of experts. I can see you now. That's great.
You can see our experts.
I can. That's brilliant. Thank you so much. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change my camera view so that you're able to see our experts as well in our virtual group here. So please let me continue now. We're ready to see the quick overview of our presentation, which is I'll explain the protocols that we're using. Show the setup for the cameras that we're doing. We're also going to be talking about prior knowledge. We will be doing an activity about telepistemology. We'll find out a little bit more about that. Discussion circles, and then have a little fun with something called proprioception. All right, so this is the protocol that we'd like to ask everyone to understand and agree to. First of all, we're recording, so we're doing this with your permission to make sure that we're following ethical protocols. All microphones and cameras should be off except for the facilitator and the wide shot of the experts there. Thank you for that. We will encourage people to post text chat into the Zoom if they're in the audience, and they can do that. Otherwise, people can post text into my webpage, which has the question about what is knowledge. In the comments, though, we would like you to please be polite and remember that this is a public event. The experts now from the UK, and as well as any of the experts that we invite to speak from Pakistan, we would like you to, the first time that you are speaking, can you please introduce yourself, because we're not going to have time to do full introductions with everyone. Just introduce yourself, and then we're going to ask, please, when you give a response, to have a 1-minute limit, because we only have 40 minutes for the talk, and so that means that we're going to be done at 10 a.m. UK time. Right, okay, let's get going. Here we go. This is the way we've got our setup for the cameras and the 360 video. We've got, you might be able to see a curvy ball over here to the side. That's our 360 camera, which will make a recording, which will be an augmented reality recording. So we'll get that available for you. And then we have the setup for you in Pakistan, where we've got the experts circle established. And now we've got the combined. So the big screen that you've got in the back is showing the UK people, and so the experts and the audience in Pakistan can appreciate what we're doing as well. So let's get going with our first exercise. If you can please go to the website wooclap, wooclap.com, and put in the code QRQCGQ, or if you have a smartphone, you can just take your phone, and you can scan that QR code and it will take you directly there. And what we're going to ask you to do, because in a moment we'll share the screen for our live tag cloud, our word cloud. So you'll get a chance to see the audience and the experts, and the UK experts. You're also invited if you'd like to contribute to that. It's wooclap.com, wooclap.com, and it's QRQCGQ. And apologies, I don't have the PowerPoint up for you, but if you have the PDF that I sent out, you can find it there. Otherwise, I'm going to now switch to that screen so that we can have a look at the tag cloud right now. So you can see this is very dynamic. I believe, Amir, you can now see the word cloud in my screen share. Is that right? Yep. Okay. Fantastic. Brilliant. So we're encouraging people. Yep. And you can see every time people enter different text in there about what is your background, what is your role. Are you an academic? Are you an administrator? Are you a professor? Whatever your role is, you can enter that in, and we're able to see dynamically that we have this changing with each entry. So at the moment, this is important because what this is doing is it's giving us prior knowledge. It's giving us an understanding of the profile of our stakeholders. And you can see we have people that are teaching, we have people that are research. Everyone seems to be very concerned about learning. That's the largest text, and education as well. We can see that publications are also a part of this profile. And so please keep posting into that, and we'll have this dynamic profile picture of the stakeholders involved. Okay, so that's our first exercise. We're trying to get this to be an interactive session so that you have an opportunity to contribute. And now what we're going to do is go and take a look at my website. The address is on the top of the screen. Otherwise, you're welcome to go to tinyurl, tinyurl.com, tinyurl.com/ICE23 and the word know, KNOW. So it's ICE23 KNOW. And that will bring you to my website, where we are going to have a look at what people have contributed so far about what is knowledge. So what is knowledge? So we can see from our tag cloud that we have a wide range of background and experience. And each of us are bringing in different types of understanding of what knowledge is. So let's take a look. We'll scroll down a little bit, and you can see that Tarek, for example, has submitted the meaning of knowledge from their perspective. And Tarek says, for me, knowledge is an awareness of facts, description information or practical skills that is gained through experiences and has practical implications. Knowledge can be both explicit and implicit. So we want to thank everybody who has contributed to that webpage. Please go ahead and post something in there now. We'll update that after the conference, and you'll all be able to have a look at that. But Amir, what we're going to do now is, like we did in the pre-test, we're going to see if we can get someone from your group to share what their understanding of knowledge is. What is knowledge to you from Pakistan, from your role at that university? Go ahead and put the microphone over to one of the people there that can share their understanding of knowledge for us.
Dr. Farhana to share her views.
Not very well.
So, okay. So now, can you hear me?
Yep, perfect.
Okay. So I am Farhana Khurshid. I have done a PhD from King's College London, and my area of specialization is ICT in education. And now currently I am working in the Department of Education, Fatma Janab Women University, and working as an associate professor there.
Fantastic. Go ahead and tell us your knowledge definition.
Yeah. So for me, knowledge is basically when you get lots of information. So it remain information until and until it assimilate with your previous knowledge. So when you start making sense of the information and try to assimilate with your existing one, then it transforms into the knowledge from the information.
Okay, so your focus, I would say, for our epistemology, our view of what knowledge is what I would say is a content focus. You're focusing on the information that comes with the knowledge, and so you're seeing knowledge as a content. Is that right?
Well, it's a content as well, and of course, whatever you are learning from your surrounding.
Okay, so it's environment as well. Fantastic. All right, well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come over to our UK experts, which you can see up here on our screen, and we're going to invite them to take a look here. We'll start off with Dr. Mike Howarth. And Amir, if we have some time, and there's another expert from Pakistan that would like to share their understanding of knowledge, after we get one or two of the UK people, we'll come back to you. But Dr. Mike Howarth is up here in the UK. And go ahead, Mike, and please tell us your understanding.
Hello, everybody. I'm here in my little spare room studio. My background is a BBC education radio producer some time years ago, but I've been working at UCL and various other colleges. And I'm showing you my setup that I use with my students at Middlesex University, teacher training students. Okay, so I don't really think, or I think that knowledge can be expressed visually. And what I'm going to just demonstrate here is the nature of the different angles of view of information and the processes involved. So what you can see here, I'm looking through at my wide angle lens, and this is my overview camera. And you can see in the background here, you can see a camera here. Actually, there's another camera up here, and we've got two other sources of information. Down here on my workboard, where I can make things and do things, is an iPad with a pen, which I use for working with students on their academic writing. And in the background, I have another source, which is like a slideshow or the internet or anything like that. So if I show you, first of all, the overview, Okay, you can see over my shoulder the point of view, and you're looking down on the information here. And this is my work base here. I've actually should be running my BBC clock for the minutes, but this is my iPad. And also, by the way, you could probably just see here the controller, which is called a Blackmagic 8M switcher. Okay, so if I want to have, look at these student work, you might be able to see this where I'm using my iPad pen, and I'm able to write on the students' work, separate out their sentences, and send them a video back immediately after the session. But also, I can have a conversation with them while I'm talking. And this arrangement of the camera, I've got, instead of most people just sit in front of the camera, but I've got this long board here, which allows me, and a stool, which allows me to move around, and the student can imagine themselves here looking down on their work with, you know, all these separate angles showing them what's going on. So that's the kind of what I call a conversation camera, and that's done with a very wide angle lens, broadcast lens. But here, you know, is if I get this right, it's tricky. Here is the kind of basic setup. All right, now this is actually used everywhere in broadcasting, so it's completely normal actually, and very familiar. So I'm just using it in a different way. Now, sorry if I can do this.
We'll try to finish up if we can, Mike, because we're going to go to the next person, which is Gianni.
Okay, right, quickly. Well, I'll leave you that. This is the setup I've got. And of course, that's the setup, that's the gadget. But of course, this is all terribly familiar. This is the shape of knowledge coming to you in the news and in, you know, from years ago. So I would just finish there and say that this is a different way, slightly different way, conversations, different angles, different viewpoints, all coming together in the circle that you've got over there in Pakistan. Bye.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Mike. Gianni, can we grab you for just a minute to share, because I know you've got some interesting knowledge about experience.
So, hello, my name is Gianni. I use John as well. I'm teaching computing science in London, England, with the Regent College. Today I have a class of 35 Indian Pakistani students, actually, so it's quite interesting, and I'm learning all the time. So knowledge is not static, it's dynamic. The students are learning. And it's in terms of the actual, maybe a statement, I think that's what we'll use. You know, there's a background is involved in the future, but my background, I was photojournalist for many years before the internet. I did TV production, like interviews, talk shows. Before it was easy, a TV studio would cost $1 million. Now you can do it with your smartphones. So anyway, so I think here's a quote. Okay, here's a quote that I'm using it for today's. Knowledge is gained via the give and take action between the tutor, the students, and the subject. Okay, and it is expressed through the grade that the students receive in their formative and summative coursework marks. How's that for simple? Very simple, practical for the students in front of me, for my admin people who want to know the grades, yep. And for the relationship I have with the students. And then Great. Producing all that produces a set of knowledge students can remember, use it in their lives, and they have a record in their transcripts. And everyone's happy.
That's great. That's great, Gianni. Thank you so much for sharing that. We have some other guests as well in the UK, but I'm afraid, David, we don't have that much time, so we're going to look forward to your contribution in the text chat if you can help us. But I would like to point out that David's video, which I'll very briefly enlarge so that you can see it. is actually like a virtual reality. So instead of just him, we have him on the big screen in a virtual reality room. So that's another element that we can discuss at another time. So let's carry on then. Hopefully, Yusuf, or excuse me, Amir, you might have one other person in your group that would like to share what their definition of knowledge. If not, we can carry on.
Yes, sir. We have two more experts. They want to share their experience and knowledge about the definition of knowledge. So I would like to invite Dr. Rahmat Ali, Principal of Higher Secondary School, Sawat.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. Go ahead, and we'll ask all the presenters, please, a 1-minute limit.
Respected sir, Dr. Rahmat Ali. My question is that in the Pakistani context, we are preparing students for exams, not for life. So how these things are possible, that fishbowl and paper presentations in a country where we are very short of resources and all these things?
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's a good question. And the fishbowl, which you can see more on my website, can be done just in person. It can be just a circle of people sitting in the chairs having the discussion without the technology. So this we'll be talking about a little bit more. Goes all the way back, like Mike's picture of the Colosseum goes back to Socrates' time. So thank you for that. And Amir, is there?
Dr. Shakir Ahmed want to share about the knowledge. So if you have time, I will give him my.
Yeah, last person. Then because we've only got 20 minutes left.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Last person.
Hello, sir. My name is Shakir Ahmed. I am PhD scholar here at the University of Peshawar. To me, knowledge is the understanding which we receive through education, experience, and research. Knowledge can either be theoretical or practical. Knowledge can be used to solve our problems